Socrates said, know thyself. Jesus, love your neighbor as yourself. And Buddha, you yourself, as much as anyone in the universe, deserves your love and attention. What do these three statements mean as a message to you, as a message to us, from people that were able to be in self-love, in self-acceptance, and have a beautiful relationship, a meaningful relationship with self? In this video, we're going to be exploring why your relationship with yourself is the most important relationship if you want to attract a partner into your life, if you want to continue to deepen the love in the relationship you already have, if you are wanting to create a better life for yourself. Self-love and your relationship to self is the key pillar, the key foundational stone that holds up your internal world and as a result creates your external one. And most importantly for you, we're going to be exploring the 3 steps that you can take every single day to make these incremental leaps and bounds towards self-love. And it's a process that you take each and every day. So, let's first and foremost briefly look at how energy works. So this is you. Around every human being we have an energy field. Now, a lot of people use their energy to go out into the world, whether that's through worry, anxious thoughts, whether that's putting someone else's needs over your own needs. And you get the drift, where this energy is being leaked constantly. Leaked. Now, as you continue to leak your energy outwards, how are you going to put this energy back into yourself? You can't, right? Because we only have a finite, small amount of energy daily. So if we put the needs of other people, if we put our anxiety, our worries, our stresses, before giving that energy back to ourselves, this energy field is going to be completely depleted to the point where, let me just rub this off. So yeah, this energy field is going to be completely depleted. And to the point where you can't give yourself any energy. Your energy field is just literally just tiny little bits left. Because most of it has gone out, as I've mentioned. Now, what does this mean for your relationship to yourself? Well, you're giving all this energy outwards, and as a result, that would come at the detriment to your own self, your own energy, your own love for self. Now, to improve the relationship with yourself and focus on the relationship with yourself, in turn, what you desire in life is going to be attracted to you. Let me explain. So here you have your energy field, and instead of the energy field going out, like I mentioned before, what's going to happen is, because you are now healing your relationship with self, giving your energy to self to be able to be a bigger, better version of self, or more aligned version of self, what happens is, instead of this going out, this energy comes back in. So you're feeding your own energy source. And what happens when you feed your own energy source? Your energy around your body, as I mentioned before, gets bigger and bigger and bigger. As an example, have you ever walked into a room and a complete stranger appears, and before you've spoken to that stranger, you feel, oh, he's got an amazing energy. It feels like he's the life and soul of the party. All eyes are on that person. That's the energy of that individual. And that's something that we can all, as human beings, support with ourselves by giving our energy inwards, not allowing our energy to leak. Now, this isn't saying that some of your energy will go out. Of course it will. You know, we have to get on with our day. We have to go to work. We have to do our bits and bobs. I'm not saying that's not going to happen, right? What I am saying is be aware and be mindful of the energy that goes out isn't at the detriment to the energy that goes back in, because the energy that goes back in, that's the gold. Now, continuing with the theme of this energy source, when your energy becomes bigger and more abundant, you begin then to attract more situations, more scenarios, more opportunities into your life. You become a magnet, whether that's a relationship, a new job, a new opportunity, whatever it may be, right? As our energy source grows, our life starts to change, because our lives are built from the inside out, not the outside in. And unfortunately in society, we're taught to build from the outside. Get the new car, go get a new job, get a better job, work more hours. When in reality, that's the result and the detriment to our own relationship to self. When in reality, we can do it the other way. It's an inside job. We work from the center and build and build and build out, and to the point where your energy source is so big that opportunities, relationships become attracted to you. So I bet you're wondering what simple steps you can take to improve your relationship with self. Only 3. And these steps are going to be this energy source coming inwards, like this, and like this, which ultimately grows and grows and grows your energy source. Okay, so number 1, compassion over criticism. That's the first pillar I want to talk about, and the first step. As human beings, we're so critical. We're so critical of ourselves, whether that's if we make a mistake, whether we're not getting the attention that we like. Maybe we haven't been in a relationship for X number of years and we can't catch a break. Maybe it's the money that you haven't earned yet that friends are earning. We tend to be super critical on ourselves. Now, what I'd like you to do moving forward is catch yourself when any of this self-criticism comes in, okay? As soon as you see it, catch it, sit with it, and say the opposite of what that is. I'm not good enough because I haven't made X amount. I am good enough, and I am getting to that place where I will make X amount. Just these slight changes in language and observing your inner dialogue can play such a massive part. With this, if a son, a daughter, a dear friend approached you and said, listen, I'm really struggling with this thing, how would you speak to them? You'd come to them with compassion, understanding, wanting to help them. But it's funny, when this same situation scenario would happen with ourselves, we would do the opposite. 9 times out of 10, we'd be more critical. So I invite you, next time you have an issue, you have a problem, that comes up. Treat yourself as you would treat a best friend. Treat yourself as you would a child. Because we're all children inside, right? We're all wounded children. Give yourself compassion and allow that self-love to grow. Your energy will grow as a consequence. So ultimately, having compassion for yourself is key. And there's a famous quote from Rumi, you've probably heard, individual. The wound is where the light enters. The wound is where the light enters. So if you are wounded, metaphorically speaking, use it as an opportunity to shine love on that wound. Have compassion for that wound. Whether that's not getting the promotion, whether that's being rejected on a date, whatever it may be, shine your light, shine the love on to that wound through compassion. Okay, the second step to improving your relationship with self is having a weekly, honest check-in. Now, what does this look like? Well, first and foremost, even if you take 1 hour out of your week, I think there's over 160 plus hours in a week, right? You take an hour out of that week, sit with yourself, turn all technology off, check in, how are you feeling? What is an area that you'd like to improve upon? What is an area in your life that you said you would do something but haven't done that thing? It's important to rebuild that trust. When you rebuild the trust, you rebuild your relationship with self. Example, let's use a friend analogy again. If a friend lent you £50 and you said to that friend, yep, I'm going to pay you back next week, and then for whatever reason you didn't, how would that friend feel towards you? And how would you feel towards that friend? That relationship wouldn't be the same, right? There'd be an energetic shift there where that friend believes that they can't trust you anymore, and you also feel guilty for not living up to your word. It's the same with your relationship with yourself. Sometimes it's hard to sit with self, really hard, because when we do sit with self, the wounds do come up, the scars come up, but it's so important to know yourself, know thyself, as Socrates said. When you know yourself and you know where your wounds are, you can then shine the light of love in to those wounds, heal those wounds, be aware of those wounds, and from there grow as a human being, grow as a soul to become a better, more aligned, more fulfilled individual. So I appreciate not many people will be comfortable doing these check-ins. So I'll give you 3 prompts. Number 1, how am I feeling right now? Simple, right? Sit with it. How are you feeling right now? In society, we've got TVs, we've got telephones, laptops, iPads, we've got work, we've got gym to go to, jiu-jitsu, whatever it might be. I'm just listing things that are in my life, but you understand the principle, right? Distraction, distraction, distraction. Sit with yourself. How are you feeling right now? And just write about it. Sit with it and write about it. Number 2, what do I need? So when you sit with yourself, how am I feeling right now? You may be feeling a certain way. Okay, then ask yourself, well, what do I need to get myself out of that state, to heal that state? What is it that you need in that moment to make you feel better, more fulfilled, more aligned? And then the third and final step, what am I avoiding? Again, as human beings and me as an example, difficult situations our mind tends to avoid, right? If you write a list of 10 things to do, I guarantee the mind will try to convince you to do the easiest things first. I really encourage you in your working week or whenever you do this on a Sunday, write a list of the things that you've been avoiding or the things that need to be done, 1 to 10, and always start with the most difficult first. Always start with the most difficult first, because if you don't, you'll put the most difficult to the end, and then you may not do that thing. And most of the time, the most difficult thing is the most important thing to do. But ultimately, honesty with yourself breeds trust within. So here, honest weekly check-in. Step number 3, be boundaried. A little phrase, it's okay to say no. Saying no to a situation, a scenario, an invite is a form of self-love. As I showed you earlier with the diagram, if our energy is constantly moving outwards, when we don't have energy to give, as I mentioned before, it's okay to put some energy outwards, right? But if we're doing it at the detriment to our own energy source, our own relationship to self, then we're betraying ourselves. And it comes back to the weekly check-in and the trust. We lose trust in ourselves if we're saying, yeah, I'll do that. Okay, yes, I can do that, no problem. But if it comes at the expense of your relationship to self, then there needs to be a big no given to that person, that individual, that scenario. It's okay to say no. Yeah, I'm going to put say no there. Now, I know I said we had 3 steps, but one more has just come into my head. So we're going to change that to 4. So the 4th and final step is to finish your day with pizza. Nah, I'm only joking. Gratitude. So I'll do one here. Finish your day with gratitude. Very, very simple thing to do. When you get into bed, just list 2 things that you're grateful for in that day. It could be the fact that you've got 2 eyes to see with. It could be the fact that you have a healthy child. It could be the fact that you're in a warm bed. It could be the fact you have food in your fridge. Having gratitude is a key life force and a key energy source that we all have access to whenever we desire. We just don't do it because it's corny, it's cheesy. It's not. It's a key source to increasing and building this energy source, right? So, as I mentioned, an example could be you're grateful for your health, your partner. You're grateful for the wounds that you have in your life, the negative experiences, because as Rumi says, the wounds are where the light can get in, right? The wounds are what helps you as a human being, you as a soul, grow, evolve. So finish your day with gratitude. So that's why your relationship with self is so important, because you become a magnet for other things coming in, right? But those other things are not going to come in until you have a stronger relationship with self that's built on self-love. And these 4 simple steps, having compassion over criticism, weekly check-in, be boundaried, and finishing your day with gratitude, are the perfect steps for you to take that's going to increase your energy here. And as a result, as this increases, more things will then be magnetized and be attracted to you. Because remember, your life, your partner starts with you.